This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
A client plays a crucial role in determining the outcomes of a therapy program. A counselor and a client must establish a good partnership to obtain the necessary information regarding the client's problems. The client should be actively involved in a decision-making process when it comes to the choice of his/her therapy. In addition, a counselor should take into consideration the client's preferences and include them in a therapy program. In some cases, a client may require more information regarding the therapy program but fail to make a decision on the therapy program. The client may influence therapy outcomes by ending the therapy prematurely. He also determines whether he/she will go through the therapy process. Premature termination of therapy occurs when a client stops receiving therapy before attaining the required goal or objective. The information obtained by a client either from the internet or the counselor impacts the choice of therapy he/she makes. A client's involvement in the therapy process will determine the therapy outcome in addition to the quality of the treatment choice. The client can ensure accountability by ensuring that he/she receives quality health services at an appropriate price. He should look for the most qualified and certified counselor to handle his/her condition. It is his jurisdiction to ensure that the medical procedures done to the client follow legal practices and that they apply the approved therapeutic model in the therapeutic process. For counselors to be accountable, they should educate their clients so that clients are able to make informed choices in the therapy program. They should educate clients on managing their condition and, more importantly, the need for therapy compliance. They are in charge of the client's health and should take responsibility. A counselor will determine treatment outcomes through the aspects of his/her personality and the techniques he applies in the therapy programs. These aspects also determine his skills and his application of counseling models in solving problems. They also impact the outcomes of the therapeutic program. The information counselor gives to a client influences the type of therapeutic plan the client will choose. A more researched counselor will direct the client on making an appropriate therapy choice. In addition, the counselor's relationship with the client will determine the patient's transference. He should create a trustful environment for the client to have confidence in himself and be able to communicate freely to facilitate the counselor's exploration of the client's problem. Also, the client's attitude towards counseling affects the therapy outcome. Sometimes, the stigma associated with seeking therapy can force a client to avoid seeking therapy. A counselor should promote accountability by informing the client of the purpose of the therapy process. He/she should orientate the client to the therapy process and engage him through the process. For a counselor, it is crucial to approach this process with honesty and responsibility to foster the client's trust in the therapy process and promote compliance. Collaboration between client and counselor promotes accountability. This collaboration may include the client's relatives and third-party payers. It clearly bridges the gap between the parties. It also gives room for collaborative problem-solving and provides clients with services from other care providers. Therapy program acceptance by both parties is an indicator of its success and reasonability. Third-party payers have a role in funding and reimbursement of clients' bills. A client's needs assessment aims to promote his health by initiating change. After the needs assessment, the counselor determines the unmet needs and puts in place improvement plans. He has to prioritize them and strategize how he will meet them. The significance of program evaluation is to determine if the objectives are met and if a program is within the laid time limit. It seeks to identify what is working right for the client. It also establishes if the client benefits from the program and is satisfied. It determines the effectiveness of the program. It also gives trust to the relatives and stakeholders in the program's progress. It gives the counselor a basis for planning for the future according to the achievement attained. Accountability is necessary to provide a stakeholder, as well as other members of supervising authorities, with the necessary evidence about the appropriate work of the counseling services. It provides a connection between counseling practices and service impact. Program evaluation helps counselors improve the effectiveness of service provision by care systemic examination methodologies and outcomes. In addition, it helps the counselor to plan and implement counseling practices. It is also undertaken to improve counseling services and provide justification for existing programs. Research is crucial for counselors when addressing the increased attention to accountability and evaluation-based practices. As an educator, a counselor requires research and evaluation skills to train other counselors. Research enhances the clinical preparation of the upcoming counselors by equipping them with supervised experience in evaluation methods. It will also enable them to conceptualize and implement evaluations of counseling programs on their own and consult their fellow counselors. Also, it has an impact on the development of the counseling profession through the provision of an understanding of the counseling program evaluation models and practices. Did you like this accountability and outcome in the counseling profession sample? To get more works like this one, make sure to check out the database of academic paper examples at ivpanda.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs.